Hey, everybody, and welcome to Breaking 80. I am your girl, Tammy, and this is my buddy, Joel Wilson, baby, where we talk about going low and maybe breaking 80. How's it going, Joel?
Oh my goodness, it has been so busy, very busy. But you know what? I am now, I think I told you before, every Friday I'm going to be golfing, doing a podcast on the golf course, though.
That's brilliant. That's a way to combine business and pleasure, and you deserve both.
Exactly. So I will be breaking 80 within the next, I don't know, month, 2, 3, 4, somewhere before that. I will be breaking 80
I love
right
it.
there.
You know, I was just on the golf course
You were.
Sunday, the last 2 days, of course. I'll be taking these 2 days off to do media work. But the last 2 days I was playing. Sunday, I played so sharp on the front. And I was playing, my husband and I, because it was Father's Day, of course, we were out, and we're out anyways.
Yes.
And we're out with a couple of guys, an older gentleman and his son, who's probably in his 30s, his son-in-law. I was playing so sharp on the front. On the back, I fell apart a little bit. I got in some trouble in some deep rough. But it looked like for a minute I could break 80, but these guys thought that maybe I was some closet pro or something. Playing so clear. I sunk some 15, 20-foot downhill putts, and we were all surprised. Although I feel really confident with my putting, so I was a little surprised. Not a lot. But I did not break 80, and then they asked me my handicap, and I said it's about a 10. And I think that they were surprised. But what they were watching was when I was playing at my best. You know, it's hard to sustain clear-headed, fantastic golf. I feel like I've come a long way. But I'm thinking 80's coming.
You were just up in Vegas where it was what? Basically 14,000 degrees, like your oven playing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you and I were podcasting from the beautiful Paiute Resort in Las Vegas. And my phone became, when we first started, so overheated. I was only outside 5 minutes and my phone shut down.
Yeah, people don't realize that. They just see the last part of it where you were inside, looking all prim and pristine and proper going. They don't realize right before that, we're going there and you're like, I think, and then you were gone. And then you said, my phone overheated. It was like,
that was crazy. It took no time at all. Yeah, it was, I guess my phone was in the sun. It took 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and my phone overheated. It was that hot.
Now imagine you trying to play that out there. Imagine, the people who are listening, you were out there playing. And and thank you. You did send pictures at the turn and how you degraded the hair started to get a little matty and you had the towel on, and then afterwards you're like, man, you survived the course. It looked like
it was, yeah, absolute survival golf. You know, it's a fun thing to attempt or to do. It is definitely like, why would you wander around in a desert for 5 hours? You would never do that on a 107-degree day. But we did do that with physical activity. And yeah, I was dunking my hotel towel in the ice cooler, which is a pro tip that I recommend. If you're traveling, just take a towel from the hotel because it's clean and white.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, dunk it in your cooler. And that's the only way that I could survive was ice water around my neck. And I still looked crazy at the end of that.
But you might have looked at, but how far were your drives going? A little warm and you were out a little altitude.
Altitude and heat and the balls fly. We've talked about, when it's humid, that moisture in the air, believe it or not, actually holds up the ball a little bit. I think I was pushing 220 on some drives, not even downhill. And I tend to hit 180 to 200, maybe right around 200 since I've upgraded my driver.
That's right.
The new Cobra driver. And I'm working with my trainer. I got to get my hips more involved still. But yeah, those balls were cruising, baby. Everything was longer for everybody.
That's a great thing. I know when I play some mountain golf, you're driving the ball, 270, 280, going, wow. And then you go back to the beach here and it's like, I'm back in 220, 230. What the hell happened to me? And it's just that. That's altitude. And that's
It's
exactly.
shocking. Yeah, playing at sea level when you've been on a mountaintop or you typically maybe live at elevation or a dry climate. When you go to like South Florida, and we've talked about this, we've done this, you lose 20 yards. It's shocking. It takes a minute to wrap your head around what has happened to your game. It's
Well,
just the altitude.
yeah, I live at sea level. The courses I play are like, 15, 20, 30 feet above sea level. So that's where my game is. For the 4th of July, heading up to the mountain or the hill. I call them the hills of South Carolina. They call them mountains, they're just hills. But my drives will probably end up increasing by about 15 yards. Maybe a club on every single thing. I'll be clubbing up on every single drive or through my entire bag. And that's what I love about that.
I love that too. I love a hot summer fairway that's all dried out, and maybe I get another 30 yards.
The only problem is that when you hit the green, you're not stopping the ball on the green.
That's true. That's a real problem. So, and in fact, in Vegas, they told us balls will not hold. So there was a lot of bump and running,
Yeah.
In Vegas. There was putting off the green.
Yeah. Now that's going to lead me to the first of our segment because we just gab on the first part. Last weekend there was a kind of important tournament that happened up in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you had a chance to watch some of that.
Man, that was an incredible tournament. Golf is always a testament to never giving up. You're never going to just run away with it. Nothing is clear. But if you don't give up, JJ Spaun started with a 40 on the front. I just shot a 40 on the front the other day.
And I would be happy with that too, right?
Totally thrilled for him. He was upset. He talked about
he stayed.
Talked about maybe some things that led to his higher score on the front, but it was Oakmont, baby.
Did you see the second hole that he played? He hit a beautiful approach shot. It hit the flag and then rolled backwards 60 yards.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, so if he misses the flag, it hits, rolls back, and he's got a 4-footer for birdie. Instead, he's got a 60-foot pitch, a 60-yard pitch to get back on the green. That was one of the 5 bogeys he had in the first 6 holes. Brutal. And then, just like, God says, you know what, Oakmont's not hard enough. Let's put some rain on it to see how much you can make it worse.
Man, I can't imagine trying to chop out of the rough. That looked like foot-long rough, 8 inches, 1.5 feet. It was so variable. And then add water. Just soak it in water. And not to mention the fairways, but the rough.
I know.
And we were just talking about before we came on how people were losing their minds.
Yes, we'll talk. In fact, let's go to Wyndham Clark real quick. Clark, who has he's got some issues anyway. Missed a putt on 18, bogeyed it, and missed the cut by 1. Went into the clubhouse and promptly decided to destroy 2 or 3 lockers. I mean, literally destroy. And I got a picture. I'll send you a picture when we're done. Oakmont told him, Mr. Clark, you are no longer welcome at this country club ever again. Ever. So
that's a tragedy for Mr. Clark, who's missing out on playing one of the finest, tournament golf courses in the PGA. And I guess they'll do that to you.
Yes.
But there are going to be more like that.
Yeah, the PGA is actually thinking about having him suspended for a tournament or 2 because of that outburst. That's not in the best interest of the game, is what it is.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you see somebody blow their top on a golf course. We just saw Rory with a fantastic club chuck.
I saw that. It came right back to him.
He was really lucky that didn't end up in his face, but the reflexes on Rory McIlroy with the catch of his club chuck.
Are you going to try that when you're out there just to see if it works?
I'm never going to try that. But I
to try that.
I have seen guys on the golf course, including friends of mine, and I snapped a 6-iron over my knee last year, but I took it out on my own club. I didn't take it out on a golf cart. I've seen that. I've seen people beat a golf cart with their clubs. Not cool. And I've never seen anybody trash a locker room. And what I would say to Wyndham Clark is seek help.
Yes.
You need to work on your breathing techniques, and you need to grow up a little bit. I mean, the sport will eat you alive, but it's never cool to damage someone else's property or another person, people do this on a course.
Yep. Like I said, on the course where I've seen him take a driver. I don't know if it was Burns or Champ, one of them took his driver and he was on like the 12th hole and he shanked it, but he was amongst the leaders and he slammed the driver down on the tee box, broke it. Well, because it was an act that you did, he cannot replace that. Now, if it happens in the course of play, you're allowed to replace your club. He couldn't. He had to play the rest of that round with a 3-wood off the tee, and it hurt him.
How foolish is that to let rage get to you? I mean, golf is an incredible sport that can drive you mad, and it can also make you believe that you could make the tour or the cut or something fantastic. I mean, it just pulls you back in the most fantastic way.
On 18.
We talked about Scotty Scheffler on the range.
Yes, did you see him? He puts his hat back on. I don't understand. I think that he was actually lost at that point. He did not know what to do to fix it. And
yeah, that's sad to see. Again, it's a testament to Scotty Scheffler is not bulletproof.
no,
Scotty Scheffler is a human being like everybody else, and golf can eat you alive, man. The number of greats who didn't even make the cut this week.
I know. Well, how about the number of people who didn't even make the tournament? Hovland didn't. I mean, Max Homa didn't make it. Ricky Fowler didn't make it. Sergio Garcia. They didn't even get a chance to play in the tournament. This is a tough tournament.
It is. It is for a reason. And that's when you see somebody, and not many people deserve to win, but that's when you see real endurance physically and psychologically pull through and take someone to greatness. I mean, and that's just a testament to greatness,
Here's the thing. You look at some of those, the players, and let's take Scotty, for instance. Scotty had not a great tournament. He was still top 10, and he was only 5 off the lead.
Yeah. Did he end +4?
He ended up +4.
Yeah.
And he three-putted 3 times.
Yeah, at a +4. Yeah, that's incredible.
So on 18, when you're teeing off, knowing you have to par the 18th to win, and that was JJ Spaun, and he puts his approach shot 65 feet to the left on the green, and I'm thinking, that could 3-putt. He just wants to 2-putt. That could 3-putt. And then Victor Hovland puts it back. And the first thing I'm thinking of is he's going to have a read. He may get this close. He may have a read and get this close. I didn't think he would nail a 60-foot putt to win the U.S.
That was unbelievable. Yeah, that's what we were all saying. I was watching with my friends, and we were each saying, well, Hovland's giving him the line. How awesome is that? I mean, and this is their 4th day playing that green, or 5th with the practice round, so they've been looking at it, but there've been a lot of condition changes on that green. So yeah, watching Hovland's speed and line definitely helped. And who knew that he would sink a birdie putt from
I love it.
64 feet? Was it 62?
I got one for you now, and I didn't even think about this until I read it. And I was going to bring this up. I have a note to bring it up on the podcast. Is they were not the last group in, okay? Because we still had Burns and Scott behind them, so they get there, but they know they've won the tournament. It's over with. He wins it. He goes up. He's inside in his scorecard. Burns and Scott come in. They finish the hole. Now Bones Mackay, the announcer who was with him, he was also Phil Mickelson's caddy when Phil was playing, JT's Justin Thomas's caddy. He realizes that JJ Spaun doesn't have the flag because they're already done. He takes the flag and gives it to JJ Spaun. I didn't realize that.
Wow.
That's
cool. Really cool.
Yeah, because
Bones would do something like that.
Yeah, Bonesy would do that, but that's something that you don't think about, and until you're done going, damn it, I wish I would have had the flag. There's Bones Mackay saying, you know what? Here it is. Congratulations.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so incredible. And for JJ Spaun, he started this year ranked 109th in the world. Yeah. He started this week ranked 28th in the world, and as of Sunday, he's number 8.
He's good. That's a good thing. He played in the Players, and I think we talked about this on one of the podcasts. He was tied with Rory at the end of the Players Championship, It was dark, so they had to do 3 holes. They did 16, 17, 18 on a Monday morning, and he just fell apart. He parred 16, double bogeyed 18, and bogeyed 19. Double bogeyed 17, bogeyed 18, and ended up losing in the playoffs at the Players to Rory, and that really hurt him. He didn't even qualify. He missed the cut at the Jack's Memorial Tournament, so he was actually on a downward spiral. And then this week, he led. I mean, he led the first round, 4 under, 4 under, 4 birdies, no bogeys at Oakmont.
That's crazy. That was very telling right away, and it had to be really intimidating. It really probably shook up some people who were like, how did this just happen? And I 1 over, 2 over, 3 over. And the greats, a bunch of greats not even making the cut. 8 over. Yeah, that's really, really incredible. JJ in an interview saying that last year, this is his 13th year as a professional golfer. And his first Valero championship was 2022.
Yeah.
I think it was his first win at the Valero. But he said last year he was actually thinking about quitting and giving up the whole thing. And now here he is, number 8 in the world, and number 3 in money for the year. He's over 8 million or something on the year. So
Can't beat that.
talk about a turnaround.
Talked about a turnaround is right.
And how you can never give up on golf.
It's exactly right. Well, now the next stop, the next biggie is going to be the Open Championship. And that's going to be up at Royal Portrush in Ireland. I'm wondering who's going to do that, because that's going to be bad conditions. It's going to be like an Oakmont with an Irish twist. How's that?
Yeah, well, you know what? I think that these PGA players are going to come prepared.
Mhm.
I wonder how these live players
Yes, exactly.
perform. Were the live players exposed at this last tournament? Can they hang in these really intense, maybe links style courses in variable weather conditions? Can they hang?
I don't think so. I mean, and that's a really good question. It's really something to think about. I think Bryson can play in any condition at any time.
I agree.
This course did not help him out because he's a long hitter. But if you miss the fairway, you pay for it dearly. Rombo was up there for a while. Rombo ended 4 over. He had a good week. Koepka had a good week. But some of the other ones started to fall off. And, you look at it, but everybody was falling off. Rory was plus 10. Lowry, did you see what Lowry did? Now get this. You talk about someone who had checked out, was already in the parking lot, putting his stuff in the bag, even though he was still on the course. He's on 18, puts the ball on 18, walks up to 18, picks the ball up without marking. He had checked out so far. He was like 17 over. He was 16 over. He was so far out of it. And he was playing with Rory, and Rory's you got to mark the ball.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, him, Justin Rose, and Rory. What a grouping. Yeah, I think I remember Shane Lowry started hitting 4-iron off the tee or something like that. He just was sick of missing fairways and ending up in trouble. And I don't blame him. I'd rather be short and in a fairway than trying to hack out of that by the end of the day. I can't imagine what that does to the body. 4 days in a row.
It's got to kill you. Let me. Do you enjoy watching this kind of golf where they are struggling so much and 1 under wins, or like the week before where 15 under, or maybe even 18 to 20 under wins? Which one do you prefer to watch?
Boy, that's a great question. I might prefer the mental fortitude that it takes to win a tournament like this over the 15 under. Although it was hard to watch these people that you love just lose their minds and snap. But Oakmont was the great equalizer.
It was. And imagine, these are the best in the world. Imagine if you and I were out there.
140. That's my score. So
I think I'm taking putter off the tee just to keep it in the fairway.
No doubt about it. Yeah, don't do anything too crazy. And that's actually fun to think about, keeping your score into context. Where are you playing? Are you playing flat courses. There are these public courses that are more gettable. Are you playing a course with a 132 slope, a 141 slope? Are you playing a course with a slope at 117? Way more gettable. This had to be like a 150 slope from the tips or something. Yeah, and so we always got to keep our own personal scores into context. You can't beat yourself up too much. So when I'm playing Pete Dye's course in Las Vegas, and maybe I shoot 100 or upper 90s or something, I don't think I went over 100, but that was a hard course in hard conditions in hard heat. And you have to keep your score into context.
Yes, you do, and that is a big thing. Did you see what was it, the eighth hole? I don't know if it was at the eighth. Yeah, eighth hole par three, played 301 on Sunday.
Yeah.
300-yard par three. I'm taking driver 9-iron.
Of course. Yeah, there's no doubt. For me, it would definitely be a driver 9-iron hole. That's the only way I could get to that 300 number. That's incredible. Yeah, that was really incredible. So
the pros, because it was wet and because the air was heavy, the pros were taking driver on a par three.
Yeah.
Now, you get to a point where maybe they're making it too difficult. And let's dial it just a little bit and have some kind of heart. But then the other part of me goes, no, you know what? These guys have it easy on some of these courses. We're going to make them work.
Yeah, these courses where they're shooting 15 under over 3 days, they are maybe making the course a little easier. I give a lot of respect to Oakmont for saying, we are actually going to throw down. You're not going to walk in here and walk away 10 under par. And it's impressive that JJ was even.
I know. That was exactly. And I know that the course superintendent on Sunday morning, he woke up and go, wait, there's somebody under par on my course? Not for long. And they were rolling those greens going, we're going to make it as much difficult as we can for these boys.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, for yourself, would you prefer to play a course like that? Or would you prefer to play something more middle of the road, not very easy, but more middle of the road?
I would prefer to play middle of the road because if you play something like that and shoot a 110, it really gets into your psyche. Even though a 110 on that, if you and I shot a 110, we would be high-fiving and taking each other out to dinner going, drinks on me too.
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about at our own course, when they move the pins to the back, some of the, we have one in particular, a par 4, it's uphill the whole way. And if you put the pin at the back, that's a par 5 hole. So when you bogey that, you should feel like you parred that. If you parred it, you should celebrate like it's a bird, because that is not easy.
Well, I know that 8-9 this week. 8 was playing at 3.7. It's a par 3, and 9 was playing at 4.6 or something. So it was playing 8 plus over a shot and a half over par, almost 2 shots over par is what it was playing. That's outrageous.
Yeah, it's unkind for sure. I don't know if Oakmont would choose to do it differently. That would be a fun question to ask them. How do you feel about watching the greatest golfers in the world just melt down, or
they're happy with that because
we are. I bet you they enjoy the reputation of what just happened at Oakmont.
Yes. And next year it's going to be at Shinnecock, which is out on Long Island in New York. That's where the U.S. Open is going to be. It will not be as tough. It'll be difficult, but I think Oakmont is one of the toughest places. When they had the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach out in your neck of the woods, actually just north of where you're at, they were still shooting 6-7 under to win. Tiger shot 10 under to win one.
Wow.
You never know. Actually, they played the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines one time, and Torrey's down where you live in that area in San Diego.
I still can't get on Torrey Pines, but I hear tell of how beautiful it is. So I try all the time. It's very challenging to get a tee time. If you're a San Diego resident, you get preference. You get, I think, as early as 9 days. If you are part of like the Golf Now app, I think you get 8 days early booking. And if you're the rest of the Gen Pop, I think you're in the 7-day category. And by day 7, 7 days out from a tee time, it's like all taken. It's crazy.
I got a friend. If we ever go out there, we'll get it. He's a former PGA member. He's still a member of the TPC. So I'm sure that if he called up, he can get us a tee time.
Yeah, he should do that.
He should do that. So Robert Gomez, in fact, I'll be texting Gomez later on today and say, Gom, you need to get me on some of these courses.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yes.
I love that. Well, you know what? Speaking of golf in the New York tri-state area, we have the Ryder Cup coming up later this game. We sure do. I gotta believe JJ Spaun, he's a lock now. I mean, he's yeah, so he should just make the team.
Have they come out with anybody who are projected yet?
I don't think I've seen any projections, but I think that the question is and will continue to be Keegan Bradley.
Is he going to pick?
Yeah, are we player captain? Are we just captain? Keegan Bradley, is he number 20 in the world right now?
Yeah. Do you think he should pick himself? How?
I heard him say in an interview that he would decide by the US Open, and here we are, baby. So I think Keegan, maybe is he going to start talking about it? But I saw an interview with Keegan where he was talking about he would do what's best for the team at the time. Yeah. And he said, if that's him, it's him. If it's not him, then it's not him. And I really, truly believe that he cares about that. I think Keegan's like 38 years old right now. He's a little bit in the home stretch of his career. So, how much does that factor in? Do you want to play? But I got to believe it's just an honor to be there, and especially to be chosen as a captain.
Okay, let's run down these real quick. If you got some time here, we're going to run down who they're predicting to be on Team USA. You ready? Give me a yes or no on Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Xander Schauffele.
Yes.
Colin Morikawa.
No.
Oh, he's going to be there.
Okay.
He will. Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes.
Brooks Koepka. No. Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah.
Wyndham Clark. I think he should be off just because of his tire rate.
I think, you got to give him a year to sit on the bench, Yeah. Absolutely.
Sahith Theegala.
Yes.
Sam Burns.
Yes.
He's been hot lately. Billy Horschel.
Man, I love Billy. I think he's out for the season, right? Is he injured? Oh. He had surgery, I think.
I don't know. Justin Thomas.
I love JT on a Ryder Cup, so I'd go yes.
And Russell. Okay. Now this is Team Europe. Are you ready for Team Europe?
Okay.
Rory.
Of course.
Of course. You know what? If Rory's having a bad year, you'd still say Rory's in.
I'm just for life. Just check the
Ron.
Yeah.
Terrell.
Man, he's a fun guy to watch.
I would have him put.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Tommy Fleetwood. He's got better hair than I do.
That's a good looking hair model right there, Fleetwood.
I'd say Fleetwood, yes.
Yeah.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Victor Hovland.
Yes.
Shane Lowry.
Yes, because I think he's so good to have him and Rory together. I love the energy. I love the fire they bring to the Ryder Cup team. He's a little like JT. If he's not having his best year, I think the energy that he brings to the table, and I think he can put up, when the time comes. They feel that energy. So
how about Sepp Straka? He's got a couple wins. Yeah. Bob McIntyre, the left-hander from Scotland. He's good. Yes. Aaron Rye, 2 goals. Sergio Garcia. And then Justin.
Yeah. I think Rose is hot. I think he's been hot since last fall. So,
the Europeans got themselves a damn good team.
They sure do. They got, they definitely have a lot of options and a lot to think about.
They do. They got a good team.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Ask away.
Do you know who was the last player captain?
Was it?
No, it was not.
Who was it?
It was farther back. It was Arnold Palmer.
I could see that. Arnie could do that.
In 1963, when they ran away with it. And actually, fun fact about that was the first year that they changed the format of the Ryder Cup from 2 days of 36 holes to 3 days of 18 holes.
Wow.
In 1963. That's pretty intense. When's the last time you played 36 holes?
In one day? About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, right before 1900. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet so. Yeah, I think last year I did it a couple of times. The year prior, I used to play 36 holes quite a bit. You know, if I had a whole day off, just play all day. I walked Bandon Dunes 36 in one day.
I didn't walk. I played 36, got done, and then was kind of like, okay, let's do another 36. Let's do another round, see if we can get it in. And we got it in. And it was in Jacksonville, Florida. It was a little warm, but I remember doing that.
Yeah, that's fun. It can be a lot of fun. You know, we call it our second 18. So you got your front 18 and your back 18. So sometimes when we play that.
Most of the time, I break 80.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's pretty intense though. It's impressive that they used to play 36 holes a day and just be done in 2 days. But 1963, it all changed.
Wow. Well, guess what? We're coming up to the end. This has been a good podcast. These have been fun.
A lot of fun.
You're going to have a lot of editing to do on this one.
I am. A lot of good stuff to talk about in golf right now. We're coming on the Ryder Cup. Just finished the U.S. Open. JJ Spaun, the sleeper pick.
Yeah.
And what else is that guy going to do this year?
I bet you he'll win.
I bet you he will. He's got to be feeling pretty good. He did that with a sick kid all night on Father's Day. Dad, happy Father's Day to JJ Spaun and to our dads out there.
Yes, that was good. Thank you. Well, Joel Wilson, and I will see you at the next tee box.
This is Yo Girl Tammy. Till next time.